It's interesting. We're all like trained monkeys in a little bit. He says, we need to take Greenland. And then all of a sudden, all we're talking about is Greenland. Panama and Greenland in particular, and Mars, um, are smoke. They're smoke. They're smoke to get in your eyes so we don't have to talk about the fact that he promised that the war in Ukraine would have ended 2 days ago already.
It's crazy. So he signed a flurry of executive orders, immigration, gender. He's pardoned 1,500 J6ers. He's also pardoned the guy who created the Silk Road drug marketplace. All sorts of things. Panama Canal, flag on Mars, whatever. It's all a whirlwind, a miasma of news and craziness. And so we're back in it. Trump is at the center of our consciousness. So I'm just wondering, as we are all trying to figure out what's going on, what your assessment is of what we've seen just in these past couple of days and what stands out to you.
The Panama Canal seems to be work. It seems to have worked out for the last 40 years or so. I'm not sure what the issue is there. Greenland sounds like a great thing for America to have. If Denmark wants to sell it, then we should buy it, obviously, if the people of Greenland agree. That stuff, by the way, is interesting because Panama and Greenland in particular, and Mars, are smoke. They're smoke. They're smoke to get in your eyes so we don't have to talk about the fact that he promised that the war in Ukraine would have ended 2 days ago already. Remember, he said that the war in Ukraine will end the minute he becomes president?
Right.
Still going on. Like it's smoke because he's doing and enacting various policies that are either anti-constitutional or have manifestations of the cruelty, especially toward immigrants and their families. Not to mention all the LGBT stuff and so it's interesting. We're all like trained monkeys in a little bit. He says we need to take Greenland, and then all of a sudden, all we're talking about is Greenland.
Yeah. It's
You know,
that
it's
outrage.
no, no, no. No one is smarter. No one is smarter in our so-called attention economy at getting our attention than Donald Trump. That's his one of his superpowers. What do I think about the last 50 whatever plus hours? If you tell yourself that he means what he says and that he will try to do what he does, then this shouldn't have been surprising. I'm a little bit surprised that he went all the way with the January 6th insurrectionists. I thought that there were a few who were beyond the pale. For instance, those caught on video beating up cops or hitting cops with flags or all the sort of flagpoles, all the sort of thing that we're familiar with. But that's been the most, I guess, cognitively, it's been the hardest one for me to process because it's one of those situations that I don't understand how law and order Americans, which is a self-identifying description of a lot of people who vote for Republicans as well as Democrats, but it's certainly a core basis of a lot of Republican identity, can see videos of cops being mauled
Yeah.
and then having the president release them, pardon them. It's more than commutation. I just can't explain to myself the cognitive dissonance that these supporters must be experiencing, or how they rationalize what what their eyes are taking in on the video of what happened on January 6th with Trump's, let's call it what it is, anti-police policies. So that was surprising. I'm a little bit surprised the level to which they're going out against DEI programs. I know that this was it's a core issue. This is not a conversation about can we roll back some of the excesses of the DEI era. This is a total wipeout. And I didn't realize how important this was for them to do right away. In part, again, and I'll stop here. In part, it's another act of prestidigitation. It's like, the magician who says, look over here, look at my hand. And then meanwhile, you're doing the trick that you want to do. And maybe this hand is the immigration stuff, and this is
Yeah.
the DEI stuff. DEI is unpopular. DEI is unpopular in part because it's unpopular, in part because it's demonized and unpopular, in part because it strikes many people as fundamentally un-American in the in the elevation or fetishization of group identity over a single civic identity. I get all that, but again, I'm just surprised at how ferociously they're moving on that front.
Right, because they're not only just saying DEI, they're saying they want people to inform on their
Yeah.
superiors or their colleagues if they try to get anything through that looks anything like DEI and
Yeah.
is means something else, which I don't really understand exactly what that means. Does that mean not promoting equal disability access? Does, things like that? Or any other kind of anti-discrimination policy, all of that will be labeled DEI, and then
Well, yeah, DEI is anything you don't like from
yeah,
now on, right? And so what are you going to start? 1,000 investigations, 20,000 investigations? When somebody says, let's talk about Martin Luther King Day let's have an hour of study of Martin Luther King's writings in an army unit. Does that mean that's a DEI intervention and that has to be investigated? I don't know.
in fact, they did cancel a Martin Luther King, I don't know, a seminar on the "I Have a Dream" speech because they were afraid.
Yeah.
Of,
Which is ironic because the minister who spoke, who gave one of the benedictions at the inaugural, basically did a 2-minute extended quotation of the I Have a Dream speech, after which Trump hugged him. So again, like you could die on the dissonance. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like you could just like
Yeah.
what is this show? And why is there no coherence to what we're experiencing?